welcome to another episode of the Taking L's podcast. Welcome. Hey, you know the deal. Braylon and Dillon here. And this is a space where we love to talk about life, the ups and the downs, the good, the bad, the ugly. We love to laugh our way through it, as well as inspire you and remind you that there's an incredible leader inside of you. If you are in a leadership role or not, you have the potential today to be an awesome leader. And we're no experts by any means. We're kind of just doing this on the fly and talking through life as we live it. And I know for me, I've had times where in this podcast, I even need to remind myself
for real
that I'm a leader and that I'm a good leader at that. So we like to start off with a fun segment. Then we'll kind of talk about what's going on, and we'll kind of just see how long this takes. We're trying to do a 30-minute Dillon.
Hey, we're getting it in. So let's get into the segment.
Here we go.
The title of this episode is I'm Over It. And so we're going to do a little over-under segment to get us started. Right. So we're going to each give each other a stat. The other person is going to say whether the actual answer to that stat is over or under the line, if those of you don't know about over-unders, that the other person gives. And we'll keep track of points and find out who wins.
I can't wait.
Sound good? I almost burped into the mic, and that would have grossed people out.
Gross. Can I say one quick thing before we get into today's segment?
No, man. We're trying to get 30 minutes time, so if you could not... Actually, just might as well get it.
This is pretty important.
Okay, great.
I was called out recently by some faithful viewers that I talk over you on the podcast quite a bit. And I was like, I went back and watched, and I actually do that a lot. And so I privately apologize to you, but I wanted to publicly on the pod apologize for talking over you. I'm just like a little puppy that gets. Thank you. I paused as you were talking. I'm like a little puppy that when it sees people gets too excited and like pees, you know?
Yeah.
I'm that, but with talking, and that's something that I really need to work on. So please forgive me, and thank you for being gracious and patient with me as I've been a terrible co-host.
Well, I privately told you to stop apologizing to me for this, so I'm going to publicly tell you you don't need to apologize to me. So over, under, give me your first line. Okay,
here we go. Over or under. Amazon in their quarter one made $3.8 billion.
Okay.
Over or under $3.8 billion.
Can I clarify the organization I work for? Our first quarter is from July to September. When is Amazon's first quarter? Is it actually like a calendar year?
I'm going to assume off of this that it was their calendar year.
Okay. Say the number again.
I don't know. For any Amazon employee listening, I'm going off of a Googled article.
Like, I'm so offended. How do you not know our quarter system? We run the world. What was the number again? Sorry.
3.8 billion in quarter one. Did they make over or under that number?
Over.
You are correct. Amazon in quarter one made $4 billion according to a MSNBC article.
MSNBC?
MSNBC.
Why did you struggle with that?
I don't know.
The Eminem NBC.
Yeah, Eminem.
Okay, here we go. I got one for you. If my Face ID will unlock, because I couldn't find my...
I'm kind of bummed that you don't have your notebook, that you have a phone.
Well, we just moved, and we're like the slow unpackers.
Okay.
I don't know if you and Carly were like the fast unpackers.
I have to unpack. Everything needs to be...
I don't even know why I asked that question. I know you two enough to know that you... Yeah, we're still like... I need something. I guess I'll go pull it out of the box. But we're also working on other projects. So, okay. This one almost made me throw up while I was Googling it.
Ooh.
The world's longest toenails ever recorded.
Okay.
Over, under 90 inches.
90 inches is massive.
Think about that fact that that's the line.
Which...
It's the world record.
Here's the thing with that extreme of a line, okay? It's either 91 is what it is, or it's significantly less. You're trying to get me. 90 inches is so long.
Bro, it's disgusting.
I'm going to go under I'm just praying that it's under.
You're correct. It's under. It was 87.
Okay.
But that's disgusting.
Still gross.
I'm not going to lie. I almost threw up when I saw the picture.
Okay, so
1-1.
1-1.
Ooh, we're gonna have a close one. I feel it. Okay, what's the next one you got?
Here we go. A seahorse, when it has a baby, has 1,001 babies at a time. Over or under?
Wow.
Fun fact, seahorses, the male actually gives birth.
I knew that.
Yeah.
I saw at the I've seen videos at like the museum.
You watched seahorse births?
Bro, it's nuts. It's like, have you ever had like a large cold brew and an apple in the morning? It's kind of like okay, come on, you're disgusting.
Yikes.
The 1001. What a stupid line. Like, honestly, it's probably exactly 1,000. I'm going to go under.
I knew I'd get you with the one. It's over. They actually have 2,000 babies at a time, a seahorse does.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep.
That's, okay. I was way off. Here we go. Shout out to the listeners in North Dakota. We don't have any of those. But North Dakota never gets referenced. Think about the last time you talked about North Dakota. As
a black man, I have zero reason to ever mention North Dakota.
The population in North Dakota is over or under 700,000 people?
Under.
Ooh, got you. It's over.
762,000
people.
We're getting tricky with the lines.
Live in the great state of North Dakota. Do you have any plans to ever go to North Dakota?
No.
Me neither.
Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Carson Wentz is from North. He went to
North Dakota State.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's all I know about North Dakota.
Fun fact, if you didn't know this, if you are a listener of this episode and you also like college football, give Braylon an NFL player and see if you can stump them on what college they went to. It's actually a really good challenge, and it's very impressive how many of these you can get.
It is a secret talent of mine. Okay, it's 1-1. We both just got each other. Here we go. Okay. My third one. This is a fun one. Cody, this is a fun one. How many calories are in a Big Mac? 775, over or under? I also want Cody to guess this one too.
Okay. I have my answer, and I just want everyone to know it will not be dictated by what Cody says. So, okay. Cody, why don't you go first?
Said Big Mac?
Yep.
Big Mac's over that.
Okay.
I'm going to be honest. Just honesty for everyone.
Yep.
I have no shame in how much fast food I eat. Okay. I genuinely enjoy fast food. And I probably had McDonald's about 2 weeks ago.
Okay.
It's for sure over.
Did you get a Big Mac?
No, I don't get the Big Mac.
Yeah. What's your McDonald's order?
I normally will do like a large fry, sweet tea. I'll do a McDouble and a chicken sandwich as well.
Why the McDouble and not the Big Mac?
Because I'm a fan of the dollar menu.
Too much bread.
I don't know.
Also dollar menu.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't mess with the Big Mac. Never been a fan.
Well, I'd like you to know that you can mess with the Big Mac because the Big Mac is actually only 563 calories, Cody, ladies and gentlemen.
I need you to fact check this.
Google it.
Cody.
How many calories is a Big Mac? Google it.
There is no way.
Guys, also 563 calories for one food item is still a lot of calories.
Oh, 100%. It's a lot.
It's 563.
No way.
That's why they don't let me on camera.
Thank you.
Oh, and I was so confident. I was like flexing. I was like Swaggy P turning around after I shot the 3 and it went in and out. Didn't actually go in.
I actually thought that 775 would be too high of a number, but you guys both went over. That's great.
Dude, start eating more Big Macs.
You can.
I can now. Okay, next one I got for you. This one's a little somber, but hopefully a wake-up call for some people. The number of COVID cases in the United States, over or under 4 million?
COVID's not over just because you're over it.
It's very true.
Wear a mask. My dad said on a video that I watched recently, my dad said, follow the CDC guidelines. Also follow the GOD guidelines. Oh, man, it got me good. It got me really good. Man, I'm going to go 4 million is a lot, but I know we've had a ton of cases. Yeah. Over.
That was a good pick. I actually set the line a lot lower.
Okay.
It's 5.5 million cases.
Wow.
We had 444,000 new cases today.
Today.
Isn't that wild?
Good Lord.
Wear your mask, people.
And as a country, we act as if we had 4 new cases today.
Dude, that's true. Okay, you are up 2-1.
I am 2-1. I'm on my last one.
Okay.
Here we go. This is your chance to temporarily tie it. A possum.
Gotta love it.
Are you familiar?
Yeah.
Okay. A possum has 12 nipples, over or under? Over or under 12 nipples for a possum?
Well, if I'm correct, I think most animals who have nipples have an even number of nipples.
Okay.
So really the question is it 10 or is it up to 14?
Okay.
12 kind of sounds like it could.
Yep.
14 sounds excessive.
Okay.
But I think you're tricking me. I'm saying over.
Oh, you are correct.
Yeah.
But wait, but listen, a possum has 13 nipples.
way.
Yes.
My reasoning was completely off, but I still got the answer
Well,
right.
I actually put 12 because what animal has an odd number amount of nipples?
Isn't that hilarious? We had the same thought process.
Exactly.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Apparently, possums don't care about symmetry.
Yeah.
Symmetry?
Symmetry. Yeah.
Symmetry. Great. I get symmetry and cemetery mixed up sometimes, and it gets real weird.
Yeah, it's probably two things you don't want to mix up.
No, it's not. Okay, 2-2.
Okay.
I have a chance to win.
Okay.
Right here. Here we go.
Here we go. Last one. Deaths per hippo per year.
What?
Fun fact, hippos kill more people than sharks. I just want everyone to know that. So if you're afraid of sharks, you should be more afraid of hippos.
Okay, so the
How does
line
that
is
metric line up against orca, though?
Yeah, let's bring up the orca whales again, Cody, so that my wife gets pissed again.
I try to
gets angsty about the orca whales eating moose.
I try to find over under like how many moose die at the hands of an orca whale. At the mouth of an orca whale.
It's not a lot, but it's never zero.
Cody,
It's never zero.
we literally were eating dinner the other night, and Braylon and Maddie like got into it over the orca whales
We did.
eating moose.
We did.
Oh my gosh. Okay, deaths by hippo per year. The line is 700.
Oh my God. So the question is how many
Deaths
people die
by a hippo.
at the hands of a hippopotamus?
Yeah, hands, mouth, tail, whatever it is.
700 is the line. Man, the thing is 700 in 365 days. We're talking like 2 people die by a hippo a day, essentially.
Yeah, it's not bad math.
I feel like there's not 2 people a day dying by a hippo.
There's a lot of hippos out there.
There's no way that... What, Cody?
You're also assuming that a hippo wouldn't go on a rampage and take out more than 2 at once.
Yeah, man. What if the hippo went through a village?
So now it's like we're talking about serial killing hippos?
They didn't invent the game Hungry Hungry Hippos for no reason.
There's no NRA to stop hippos.
I hope not.
Keep them away from our elementary schools, you freaks. Like, I'm taking a long time on this and we're trying to do a 30-minute pod. I'm sorry. But there's just no way that there's 2 people a day dying from, but I guess every 0.8 seconds someone dies.
You're overthinking this, man. I think you just got to give an answer.
I'm going to go, everything in me is saying under, but I want to win. And I feel like I'm going to go over.
I set you up. It was under.
We tie. That's boring. No one likes to
so
tie.
boring. It's actually 500. It was quite a bit.
That feels way more accurate.
Makes you feel a lot more safe.
That's still a minimum of 1 person dying a day at the hands of the hippo.
Sorry to those families.
So that was our segment, over or under. That leads us to our L of the week. Just always adding sounds. Our L of the week is a moment where we lost this week, a moment to laugh at ourselves. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing this podcast with one of my best friends in the entire world, Dillon, who just had a major life moment. Dillon, is this correct? You just had a major life moment.
Yes, me and my wife, we bought a house and we moved into that house.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, they didn't just buy a house, they bought a mansion, okay?
Okay.
And No, it is a beautiful home.
It's great. It's from, honestly, I just want to support all of the supporters of this podcast. Wouldn't have been able to purchase it without you.
Thank you to our sponsors.
Yeah. Honestly.
We want to thank Amazon.
Yeah,
Clearly.
shout out to Brooklyn and Sheets. I'm kidding. Like
Brooklyn.
we actually found out about them on a different podcast, bought their sheets, and they're phenomenal. They're not even a plug, but you should buy Brooklyn and Sheets.
Are they the organic ones?
You'd have to ask my wife. She's the one that bought them.
We only have organic sheets, so we're modern day hippies.
Yeah,
Call
modern
back.
day hippies. I actually texted in our like friend group text the other day, and I was like, "Guys, can I recycle styrofoam?" And like all the friends answered except for Carly and Braylon, and they're all like, "Yes, yes, yes." Carly and Braylon, "Nope, you can't. Don't do it.
You cannot recycle styrofoam. So you just had a major life moment. You bought a house, which is incredible. And since we are such good of friends, I like to use the term we. So if you buy a house, we bought a house.
Absolutely.
If you make it, we made it. So the other day,
True story. My wife went to Home Depot and came back, and she had extra keys. And I was like, "What are all those extra keys for?" She's like, "Oh, I got them for our friends so they could have a key to our house."
That is true.
So you literally have a key to my
your
house.
wife gave my wife a key to your house. It's a tie-dye key, actually, which was very cute.
Modern day hippies.
So you do what people do. You send out the massive group texts. Hey guys, I need help moving. And of course, we talked about this in one pod.
Yeah.
You did the thing that everyone does on moving day. Yeah. Hey, I need your help moving. There's going to be pizza.
Which,
as if that is the reason why I'm going to come on my Saturday, give you a full day so I could get some like a $5.99 Domino's deal of some lukewarm pizza.
Which, by the way, the amount of crap I got for providing pizza because of what you said on the podcast,
Yes.
which, by the way, when I helped you move, you bought Domino's pizza.
I understand that. It's just a thing that we do, but it's like, why do we do it, you know?
Also, it's hilarious. It's like, thank you for moving all these big, heavy things. I'm going to go find the best deal on pizza I can. I'm not going to splurge and buy Zeke's or buy Spark or buy whatever nice pizza.
I'm Googling best coupon.
I'm literally getting the best coupon there is, and that's a $5.99 pizza from Domino's. Thank you for helping me move that couch.
So we're moving, and we're getting all your stuff out of your apartment. And one of the things that you and I had to grab together was we had some other friends downstairs loading up the U-Haul, but you and I, we were the team that was taking things from the apartment to the elevator.
By the way, lived at the very end of the hallway, long hallway, long walk.
Very long hallway. It's funny, things you don't realize until you have to carry very heavy things is how far away you lived from the elevator.
Dude, that's a fact.
So we're doing what movers do. We're taking boxes, stacking them up, stack, taking them to the elevator, drop them off, go back, do your thing. Well, all of a sudden you're like, all right, man, we got to start moving heavy stuff. Well, things are starting to get heavy. And I don't know if you're watching on YouTube or if you've ever seen me before. I am not the most built of humans. I'm a skinny guy.
Yep, same.
And Dylan wants us to move this console table thing that I'm convinced was made of just a whole entire tree and filled with cement.
Yeah, maybe a couple trees.
For sure.
It's heavy.
It was one of the heavier things I've ever carried. So we pick it up, we start carrying it down this long hallway, and I'll have to be honest, I was embarrassed by the amount of breaks I had to take.
To be fair, I just kept being glad you kept offering the break because I was also ready for a break.
But what I learned was I was actually carrying this thing the wrong way. We have a friend who's like
works out,
gym guy.
CrossFitter.
Yeah. And he was telling me, he's like, you weren't engaging your back and your biceps. I was just carrying this very heavy thing, a very long distance, just fully in my forearms.
Ooh, probably not the
and with
best
my
way.
fingers.
Yeah.
No. So we move this heavy thing, all that. So we're moving all day. We finally get to your new house, right? We're unloading the truck. And I'm doing everything for some reason with like my forearms and my fingers. I'm not engaging my other body parts.
Yeah.
So you have me and your brother-in-law who, on this same podcast, you said if you had to get rid of a couple things, you picked him to get rid of, by the way. Good thing you didn't get rid of him because he was there helping us.
To clarify, everyone who hasn't listened to that episode, the choice was between my brother-in-law and my own brother.
And was your brother there helping us move? No, he wasn't. Okay. Guess who was there? Your brother-in-law, Mitch.
It's true.
All right.
He woke up to help us.
So clearly you made the wrong choice. So we're unloading the truck, right? You have this couch that I took down to the truck with ease. Like it's a phenomenal, it's a beautiful couch. It's a very light couch.
Very light for a couch.
And it was so easy for me to carry to the truck. But after a full day of moving and doing it wrong, my forearms and my grip was so fatigued that I could barely carry this couch inside of the house.
Yeah.
To the point that I secretly dropped it like twice.
It was not a secret. I was in the U-Haul passing something off to somebody else, and I just hear boom from inside the house. It was not a secret. My wife looked at me and was like, I think something's broken.
Nothing broke.
Nothing broke. We're good.
By the grace of God.
Again, if you ask your friends to help you move and you don't want to pay for movers, something's getting broke. That's your cost.
Something's got to break. It's like a rom-com movie. So I'm carrying, and I'm so weak at this point, and my forearms and my grips and everything were just so gone and done, and it was hot that day, and I'm sweating, and I'm carrying boxes, and now I'm like also low-key embarrassed because I'm so weak, and like you're intentionally giving the heavy things to other people, and you're giving me like, hey, here's this one t-shirt to go take upstairs. So now I've become like that guy of the moving process, that... Towards the end, I had a couple moments as I was going up your stairs with a couple boxes to take into your new awesome large walk-in closet. I had the thought, I am so over this.
Yeah. So over it.
So over it.
And out of all the things that made you over it, why were you over it?
Because I was tired.
Because you're tired, because you were, to be honest, probably just not prepared to move that much stuff. It is unreal. The feeling, and sometimes it's really frustrating whenever you get to a moment, whether it's moving or whether it's something else, and you kind of just realize, I can't really do this anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm kind of at the tipping point where I just have to stop. I just have to give up. And I think from talking about it, it got both of us thinking, how many times in our life do we actually get these moments? And I think they're more often than we realize. And I think we're in some of those moments right now, in this point of time, where we're just over things. And you hit your capacity. You hit your capacity of frustration. You hit your capacity of worry. You hit your capacity of fear. You hit your capacity of whatever it is that causes you to say, I'm over this. I'm done. I'm giving up. I'm not doing this anymore.
Yeah.
And the title of this episode is I'm over it, because there's a few things right now that are happening in our world, in culture, and it's so easy to just stop caring. And sometimes care can feel like a muscle. And the reality is that sometimes you flex that care muscle too much, and you're caring for this person, you're caring for that person.
Yeah.
It's like you're carrying this giant couch of care, you're carrying this like big heavy
my
furniture.
Forearms hit capacity on your moving day.
Absolutely. And so sometimes the same thing happens with care, and all of a sudden you get fatigued. You get fatigued of caring, you get fatigued of showing joy, you get fatigued of showing happiness, and all of a sudden you're like, I'm over it. I'm over that relationship. I'm over whatever it is. Have you ever had a situation like this, or have you ever felt like this before? Yeah,
I think that if collectively we're not kind of all feeling like this, we're not being honest with ourselves. I think 2020 is the ultimate kind of example of care fatigue.
Yeah.
We talked about it with COVID. COVID isn't over because you're over it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that meme,
yeah,
but it's funny and one of my kind of favorite sayings to say in a joke setting. But I think as a country, there are even some of us that our care capacity for COVID just ran out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care about this disease anymore. I don't care about social distancing anymore. I don't care about a mask. I don't care about quarantining. Like, my capacity to care is gone. Mm-hmm. Even another massive one that hits even more home for us. And if you're a listener to this podcast, you know our passion on this topic, but social injustice and how the movement that happened in our country had more people caring than ever before.
Yep.
I don't remember the stat, but it was like the largest protest and rally in the history of our world. There was 18 countries that had Black Lives Matter rallies. Like, the care was off the charts.
Nothing we'd ever seen before.
But now as time goes by, you are seeing less public support.
Yep.
Because I think it's not an easy thing. I know it's not an easy thing to care about, right? So I think our capacity to care for it can very easily get full, and then, or we get fatigued, and then we stop caring about it. So I think, yes, I have felt that way. And I think collectively, if we're all being honest,
like, I'm feeling that even right now.
I'm feeling like that right now with COVID, with life, even just like my care to have tough conversations. I'm like, I think I'm over that. Like I care, but I'm at my tough conversation meter is at capacity. It's full. And I think just collectively as people, I think we can all kind of be honest. Like, I think I'm at care capacity on some things. Like, my care muscle is dwindling. I'm shaking right now.
And I think if you're listening to this and you can relate, we're even coming to this of like, we're feeling this.
Yeah.
And so don't take this as like, gosh, I feel so guilty, but maybe even take it as a deep breath and go, I'm not the only one. But at the same time, let's have a conversation of what it can look like for us to continue to care.
Yeah.
So for anyone listening, what do you think is, I don't know if I'd say the remedy, because I don't know if there is like some quick remedy or easy remedy to this, but what do you think is something for anyone that would maybe be saying, hey, I think I'm at my capacity of caring? And it could be capacity for caring when it comes to COVID. It could be capacity for caring when it comes to social justice. Maybe you're even at your capacity for caring about your job or for a relationship. Maybe even your marriage is on the rocks, or a relationship with a friend is on the rocks. But your capacity to care just seems to be full and you can't care anymore and you just want to say I'm over it. What would be one of the things you'd say to those people, or even just say to us?
Yeah, I think that's such a great question. And I'm going to give a very short answer, and then I'm going to answer your question with a question. I think
love that.
I think having to determine, even for ourselves, especially with kind of these newer things to care about, right?
Yep.
A pandemic, a disease like we've never seen before, social injustice that for maybe a lot of us is a newer topic to kind of tackle and talk about and have a part of your everyday life. It's what are some of the things that are worth pushing through?
Yes. Yes.
And to have that tough conversation with yourself of, is this one of the things that I need to push through on? I think about that moving day, right? As tired as I was and as weak as I felt, like, you mattered enough to me to like push through. Like, I'm gonna see this through, no matter literally how weak I felt, having a hard time just carrying a box. Like, I'm gonna push through this. And to answer your question with the question, I would even love to hear your thoughts of like, I was ill prepared for your moving day. I didn't know that I was, but like, I could have been working out those muscles more. So even kind of talking about your care muscle, right? How do we flex our care muscle, or how do we make sure that we don't get care weak, if that makes sense? Like, I just felt ill prepared for the moving day. And some of us right now could feel ill prepared with 2020. Like, if we're being honest, there's some of us looking at the world right now and are just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
How do we not do that? How do we get that care muscle strengthened?
I think any time that, unfortunately, any time that we find out that we don't have enough of something, or maybe not good enough at something, is a lot of times in the moment that you actually need that thing.
Yeah.
Right. And so for anyone that's here that's going like, oh man, I feel like I've run out of my capacity to care, it's got to feel frustrating, because you're like, I wasn't prepared for 2020. None of us came into this year thinking, everyone goes into a new year thinking like this is going to be the best year ever, right? And it's been tough on a lot of us.
2020, a year of vision.
Yeah, for real. Oh my gosh.
Clarity.
I forgot about that already. Yeah. And I think for anyone, when it comes to care, we keep saying care is like a muscle and you got to flex it. And I think our ability to care and our ability to care a lot is tied to just starting to care in the first place, and how often you're willing to care. And you think about it this way. I don't think people who are caring, if you think of the most caring person you know, the person that's intentional, the person that's kind, the person that's always reaching out, I don't think they woke up one day and were just like, you know what? I'm going to be a caring person.
Yeah.
I'm going to care for everyone I see. And they just care. I think what happened is one day they said, I want to just care more than I care right now.
That's so good.
And they found somebody and they started to care for that person. They found a cause and they started to get passionate behind it. They found a job that they liked or maybe even didn't like and said, but do you know what? I'm just going to start putting more effort and care into this than I have before. And I think it's those people that put effort and intentionality into care and they just do it a little bit more every single day.
Yep.
It's kind of like lifting weights. You don't go into the gym one day thinking that you're going to like bench press 200 pounds.
Yeah.
Probably if you've never worked out, you go into the gym and you're like, oh my gosh, I can only bench press 40 pounds.
Yep.
But then you start going to the gym more and more and more, and you start to be able to lift more and more and more. I think care is kind of the similar way. And so what I would maybe encourage anybody even right now, it's like, I've hit my capacity to care. Can I ask you this? Can you just care a little bit more tomorrow than you care today?
Yeah.
Instead of being willing to say, I'm over it and just give up, can you just care more tomorrow than you care right now?
That's so good.
And I think that there's so much value if we're just willing to push ourselves just a little bit to care.
Yeah.
Because guess what? I think the next day you're going to be able to care a little bit more.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden we start to flex that care muscle and we're going to begin to care way more than we've ever been able to care before. And our capacity to care is going to grow. And not to talk for too long, but I think sometimes we also have to ask ourselves when we're ready to say, I'm over it. Before you say I'm over it, I think it's always worth asking the question, what would be the implications if I said I'm over it?
Yeah.
Think about COVID. What would be the implications if our whole country just said, I'm over it, we're going to go about our way?
You said it, 5.5 million cases.
Yeah, but that's even with still people caring.
Yeah.
And you think about if everyone was just to like go back to normal life.
Yeah.
You think about like some of the terrible things that are happening in our country and how so many people are being marginalized. If we were just to go, I don't care.
Yep.
Like you look at that and go, no, if I don't care, change isn't going to happen.
Yep.
If I don't care, the results that we need aren't going to happen. So I need to keep caring. But I feel like I've hit my capacity. And if that's you, why don't we just try to care a little bit more tomorrow than we cared today? You don't have to solve a pandemic. You don't have to solve the world's social justice issues. But what if we could just care about them a little bit more tomorrow than we even cared today?
I love it. Your lack of capacity has a consequence.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that can be as extreme or as minor. But I think there's someone on the other side of your care that could be greatly impacted by you.
Greatly
I even love that we're using the analogy of a muscle and kind of working out with care. You know, at the beginning of like a normal year, right? Everyone sets their goals, resolutions. What's the word I'm looking for?
Yeah.
And gyms are packed, right? We know this. January, gyms are packed out of their minds. And then as the year goes on, gym attendance, it goes down and down and down and down. And I feel like specifically with social injustice, when George Floyd happened and the protests happened and things, it was like the beginning of the year in the gym. All of a sudden, all these people were like, I care about this. Like, this is, I am in, this is bad. I've never seen a video this bad. Maybe people that have never spoken out on anything before was like, you know what? That video, that pushed me over the edge. That was it. You know what my resolution is? I'm going to be in the social injustice gym every day. And then a couple weeks went by, and they were there. They were on their plan. They were posting the black square. They were having conversations.
Yep.
They were standing up to people. And then a couple more weeks went by, and it was still kind of, you know, and now we're in quote unquote, let's call it June, if you will. And a couple months goes by, and now people aren't in the gym as much. And it kind of feels like that. To really use this analogy of like,
it's a great analogy.
The beginning of the year, we're all in, and now time goes by, and it kind of just feels like collectively we've kind of hit our care capacity. That the resolution window has kind of closed. Quarantine, right? We're all staying indoors. And now even you go to grocery stores and things are less and less. You realize how many people are staying in their house. It's less and less. I think collectively we have to realize, hey, we don't necessarily have the choice to say I'm over it. I think we have to make the decision. I'm going to continue to grow my care capacity. I'm going to continue to flex that care muscle. Dillon, give us a as you leave today.
Hey, as you leave, I want you to think about something that you have been saying, I'm over it. You want to give up. You want to stop trying. And ask yourself two questions. Do I need to keep caring about this one thing? And if I do, how could I just care a little bit more tomorrow? When I think about people at the gym at the beginning of the year, I think a lot of people give up because they take on routines and they take on ideas that they can't keep up with. Yep. I'm going to go to the gym 7 days a week.
Yep.
I'm going to go to the gym for an hour and a half. And they take on like a schedule that they can't actually keep up with.
That's great.
And that's why they quit. No one's asking anyone listening to this to change the whole world. But what we all can do is have an impact in the world that we're a part of.
Absolutely.
Impact in our family, impact in our relationships, impact in our workplace.
Well
and
said.
all that takes is just to care a little bit more tomorrow than we did today. So we love you all. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you've been encouraged, and don't give up. Keep caring.